I'm curious about the Mormon thing. Like I know like a good half of the population here is still actually maybe not here, but how many Mormons do we have by applause in the audience in a Harmontown audience?
Oh, quite a few.
Nothing.
20% maybe.
That makes
You're an ex-Mormon?
This city was founded by Mormons and is now like basically, according to Wikipedia, half non-Mormon. I mean, it's a capital city and a city of industry now. It's not about Mormonism anymore necessarily. There's not like a Mormon train like that's propelled by Mormonism. The train has electricity in it, and the banks have money in them, not snakes. I don't know what Mormons believe, but I think they talk to snakes. I can't remember.
Should we get a Mormon person up here?
Can we have a Mormon up? Let's have a Mormon. A real, not a Jack Mormon.
Let's get a gal up. Let's get a woman on stage.
Okay, yeah. Let's have a female
local
Mormon that won't be we want a Mormon's a proud Mormon. Are you not a self-loathing Mormon? Okay.
What's your name, miss?
Talitha.
Okay.
Say again?
Talitha.
Talika?
Right.
Talitha.
Talitha.
Like urethra.
Like Eureka? Yeah. I met a guy. There was a guy that had me sign his book after the show, and he said, "Can you make?" Everybody's got a weird name, like Ridgely and Blaker and
We like
Blue
to come
Blue.
up with the more original the better. It's
There's
kind
1,000 ways to spell Aaron. There's 1,000 ways to spell Michael. It's I always ask, and I was so used to asking like get the right spelling. The guy said like. Can you make it out to Jathan? And I was like, yeah, Jathan. And he's like, no, Jathon. I have a horrible speech impediment. It's really bad. It's so bad that I sound like a cartoon.
Thanks for pointing that out.
And I was like, oh my God.
Subject.
But he was he's a Armenian, so he was.
What a drag to have a lisp and have an S in your name. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
That sucks.
all right, sorry. So
her name might be Talitha. We don't know. Maybe she has a.
That's what I was saying. That's a joke I was making. But no, it's urethra, right? What is it?
Right.
And you're our first Mormon that I know of. I don't know if anyone is a closet Mormon that we've had on the show. And we're in the Mormon capital of the country. I don't know what to ask. What do we do with the Mormon, Jeff?
I don't know. It occurs to me that I really know nothing about Mormonism except the Mormon families that were in my high school, and I know that they were very tightly knit, very large families generally, and very, very, very close. And they had their little home evening or home. What do you call that? Family
home evening.
All right.
Yeah. Are you like? Do you still do that with your family? Is it still a big? Are you come from a large family as well?
I do. Well, I have a pretty big family for, I don't know by whose standards, but like I actually have 5 kids and I'm 31.
Wow, hey.
And that's a big deal because, Jeff, what I've heard about Mormons is that you all get your own planet, like in the afterlife. That's one of the 8 things that I've heard about Mormonism, is that the part of the scheme of the afterlife involves like your own world.
I've had 3 kids and then we adopted 2 kids too. But yeah, big families is pretty common.
I've heard so are these things like, are they caricatures? Like I remember when 9/11 happened, all the ticker tape on CNN could talk about is the 70 virgins, like because everyone wanted to know who would do this, why would they do it, and that was the talking point. Is let's find the weirdest, silliest sounding thing about Islam that we can and just repeat it over and over again. Well, they think in heaven that your dick is a pine tree. Like. Hey, they already blew up a building. We already hate them. Like, we don't have to. Why did they do it? I'm just wondering, because Christianity has all kinds of weird shit about it that if you focused in on, and Judaism and everything, for a modern Mormon, what do we talk about? Magic underwear. I've heard about the planet that everyone gets when they die, and
no coffee.
No coffee? Is that that's Amish, isn't it? No stimulants, no Diet Coke, right?
There's it's kind of like a health code kind of. So
right.
I don't drink alcohol, and you stay away from addictive substances just in general.
Right.
So
you get to have cool haircuts though.
I do have a pretty.
Yeah, there's
cool
no
haircut.
rule against that. She looks very cool. I'm telling the podcast audience that sounded patronizing.
She's actually really
If you had a
ugly, so
podcast
just take
audience
my
you were
word.
constantly reporting to, you would sound sarcastic sometimes. Like the person at the bank would go, "You can't have your money." I go, "I can't have my money, folks. It's just the way it works here." Let's magic underwear. What does that mean? I've heard that phrase, magic underwear.
I'm sure that's speaking in terms of a clothing garment that the LDS people wear.
Right.
It's
LDS is Latter-day Saints, so that's the
uh-huh.
church, the name of the church, and so it's what?
no, nothing magic. It's symbolic.
Right.
So
What is it? Is it about chastity? Or is it about?
partly, yeah,
Is it-
it's symbolic of.
Get really specific, because I swear to God, I've heard that phrase. Like people who are hating on Mormons, they go, they have magic underwear. They believe in magic underwear. It's just like, and then you move on with your conversation. Go, I love the calamari. Like so knowing that that's all I've heard. That's all I've heard. Like, what does that mean? And I also haven't seen the Trey Parker, Matt Stone musical. I don't know anything.
I don't know how to get into it without having like a whole discussion about, all the fundamentals. But
Let's do it.
We got all night.
I don't know if this is the right forum.
Kevin Nealon's here on Tuesday, but
We already
I
did.
can get the missionaries here in about 5 seconds.
We already burned through Fart
That's
Corner.
another
We got
joke.
nothing left.
I was hoping to get farted on.
well, is there fear of getting it wrong, of like sounding like you're misrepresenting your religion, or is
No,
there
no, no,
or is
no,
there
no.
fear of people that aren't affiliated, like judging you, or what's the? Or is it just a fear of making the podcast 6 hours long because it's that complicated?
No. I mean, the gospel's simple. It's a Christian gospel.
Right.
So it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
There were more books later, right, in the New World.
Oh, yeah. You're familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Books written at the same time that.
But underwear, the underwear, like you can't. You don't want to cartoonify your religion by.
If you go back to, like, in the Old Testament, the book of Exodus and things like that, they talk about when they go to the temple and putting on a holy garment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same type of thing. It's symbolic of certain covenants you make at the
So
temple.
this is not a sexual thing at all. This is not about.
No.
Oh, see, my mind, like Orthodox Jews, like some like there's some sects of Judaism where they have sex through a hole in a blanket
no.
or whatever. Because everyone has their own, old religions. They have old ideas about sex that are. I thought when I heard magic underwear, I automatically assumed it was some kind of like
that you wore during.
Yeah, there was didn't have a flap in it or something. So that when you were 16 you got a flap, or and then you got to go to prom.
Talitha, I'm assuming you're not wearing it now. You wear it when you go into the temple, right?
No, at all times.
So it's like a yarmulke, or they don't. Not
you're
all
wearing-
Jews wear
Yeah,
yarmulkes all the time.
Are you wearing it now?
I am, yeah.
And it's
yeah,
about
a religious-
like a yarmulke is about like humbling yourself before God, like you're covering your head. Like a symbolic, God-fearing thing. So this underwear is covering.
So symbolic of, starting like your body is like your temple. Your body is your gift from God. It houses your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So your body is kind of like your most sacred physical possession, I guess.
Where do you go?
And the fundamental level, no matter what you're doing out in society, underneath it all,
Is your garment, yeah.
is your relationship with the cosmos. I mean, this is like when I was a kid, we had a thing called underoos. Where the
They were sacred to you.
for in a secular sense, yes, sacred.
Yeah,
Like,
yours-
I'm
yours
at school,
have been- yeah.
I'm getting picked on. I'm getting a swirly, but I'm the Hulk down here. They just don't know it. I'm Aquaman. I have a relationship with that doesn't sound it's magic underwear. See, people are too. It's too.
Yeah, we trivialize stuff, but also people are very freaked out by other people's spirituality and stuff like that.
So we do the opposite of trivializing it, right? We make it into too big a deal because every single little
Yes,
thing,
context,
like religious traditions and rituals, are little tiny little things that sometimes have practicality and sometimes don't, but in all cases are designed to remind the individual in a world where God's not hanging out all the time that God is a part of their life, that they have a relationship with the unknown.
Right.
And scientists get to punch a clock at work every day. Their job is to study the unknown and like figure shit out, so they don't need magic underwear to remind them. But if you work at Verizon, there's a lot of people that are going to try to like make you think that you should worship Verizon, and they should go fuck themselves if you're a Mormon, because you like when you go home at night, you're beholden to this other thing.
Do you go to a store to get them? Do you make them yourself? Like, how do you?
It's an authorized store, yeah. So the church makes them. Yeah, it's like an authorized pattern.
It's like kosher food. Like there's some factory somewhere where there's a rabbi going this hot dog's good to go.
Now, I mean,
it's just an authorized pattern.
Don't answer this if you don't want to. And I'm not being creepy. What do they look like? Like what part of your body? Like what physically? Huh? Granny underwear?
Just like from here to here.
Really?
Yeah. Like an old timey swimsuit, like in the.
No, just like a shirt and shorts.
Well, I'm glad.
I still make one piece.
I hope everyone else got their money's worth, but I certainly do. I'm glad I finally learned about the magic underwear thing.
Now let's say you go to the beach. Let's say you're taking a swim in the Salt Lake. Do you swim in the Salt Lake? You're taking a float in the Salt Lake.
Yeah, then you would just not wear them for activities that wouldn't.
Gotcha.
That you couldn't normally do without. Like so, if I'm going swimming or going to work out or.
All right.
You got 5 children. You can have any more? Or is that the limit? I'm not coming on to you, by the way.
You have sexy hair. We want to know about your underwear.
Yeah, let's make it around 6.
And how
I'm drawing conclusions.
How fertile are you? Okay, well, yeah, I keep thinking like, oh, there's a big wrap-up question, but because I don't want to just have brought you up and talked about underwear, but like communication is always the fucking thing. Like I'm obsessed with race, all the time. I grew up in the 70s. I was like, when I was a kid on the playground, I was like one white kid and I'd be surrounded by a bunch of black kids, and I remember back then it was the 70s, and like we were coming off our Norman Lear sitcoms, and everyone was talking about the fact that people were different, and you'd have conversations where you'd go up to a black kid and you'd go, can I touch your hair? What does it feel like? Or like, and overall, you wouldn't know, because people are communicating, because like that's the human gift, is to communicate. And then like this, like somebody saying, oh, they have magic underwear over calamari, and then that's all I hear, and then like all of the problem is in everything that's not explained. Like it actually doesn't sound very. Very, very weird at all, and it doesn't sound very magical either.
Or yeah,
sounds like ritualistic, ceremonial.
Yeah,
and,
it's ceremonial, symbolic. Yeah.
Does it have a big M on it? No.
Super Mormon.
That's Mario. That's Mario. I'm sorry. Well, let's have a hand for our Mormon representative.
Thank you, Talitha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was hoping I could get farted on.
You want to get farted on?
I was hoping.
All right.
You want the music?
Yes, please.
Oh,
hang on. Let's go.
Sorry. Pretend I didn't do that.
Talitha wants the music. Fart Corner!
Religious edition. All faiths from corner to corner. Everyone's going to get farted on. That's a guarantor. Made up a new word. I can do that. Human beings can make up words in religions. That's our talent. That's what we do. It's called mythology. So, scoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Farted on a Mormon.
Farted on a Mormon. Talitha, everybody. Thank you so much for that.